Alrighty, welcome to McBean Farms and Prepping and Wildlife. Today I'm going to talk about Bidenomics. You know, it's something that they kept throwing out there, Bidenomics. How things are better, rates are up, wages are up, employment's up. What they don't talk about is your cost of living has went up considerably more. So I just got done doing my taxes. And I was talking to the wife and said, we made quite a bit more money than we did last year, which was a good thing. In 2023, we did far better than we did in 2022. Now, for 3 months of that year, I wasn't working. But we made a significant amount of more money than we did the year before. And her question was, where'd it go? A good answer. Where did it go? Well, gas used to be $2 a gallon. Now, I just filled up. It was $3.90. So let's just call it $4 a gallon. And I'm out in the boonies. In the city, probably $4.50 to $5. California, forget about it. So my gas is doubled. So if you figure what you spend in gas a month, and I'm just going to use whole numbers, so we spend $500 because we have 2 vehicles, both of us have jobs. Now we're spending $1,000. All right, that's $6,000 right there. I had to make up. Well, now let's go over to the other stuff that we need all the time. Well, that would be food. Now, they say eggs have went up 27%. I would like to know where they're basing that from. Because I remember getting eggs for $1 a dozen. Now, I get them from the neighbor for $2 a dozen. They're $3.50 to $4 in the store. And now that we have this bird flu, rates are going to go up. So that's going to be even more. Milk used to be around $2.59, $2.99. They're $4 or $5 a gallon. That's doubled. So basically, my food cost has doubled. As it went up 27%, it has doubled. Well, how much do I spend on food? Well, let's call it $1,000 a month. Now it's $2,000. So there's another $12,000 a year. Well, that's $18,000. Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's where all that extra money went. It went into food, and it went into gas. I haven't taken out any new loans, so I'm not getting hit there, although I would be. Thankfully, I'm locked in. Even though they wanted to restructure, I said, no, you're not, because I know what the rates are now. Good, nice try. So, all that extra money that I made in 2023 pretty much kept me at the same level that I was at 2022. Not even going to talk about 2019 prices. So when people say, "Oh, Bidenomics," you don't, evidently you don't shop, or you're just not paying attention. Bidenomics is killing us. Literally made 30 grand extra, and it's gone. Because got to buy propane for the house, got to pay ComEd. None of that stuff went down. Insurance, everything has went up. So I'm really, when I look at people on these social media sites trying to say how good they have it, either A, you didn't have a job and you were just desperate before it started. Now you have a job and you actually are earning money. Or B, you're not paying attention. This is the way I'm looking at it. And I know people are not paying attention. That should be. They really should be. But they're just going through life clueless on how much more money they had to spend last year versus the year before, and how much more money we're going to have to spend this year. And I'm not going to make extra money this year. I'll make probably the same. And the only reason is because I work a lot of overtime. So I take my free time and keep working so I can pay the bills. All right, it's not a healthy way to be. Both the wife and I work. You know, back in the 50s, the father worked, mother stayed home. And then I think the government realized, hey, we're missing out on taxes. We get them both to work, well, we can get more tax revenue. How do you force them both to work? Make it more expensive. A new car, a basic new car, and I mean basic, is like $35,000. I bought this 2019 for a good $10,000 less than that 4 years ago. Actually 3 years ago, because I bought it in 2020. So in 3 years, this car, it's one of the few cars that really is worth more money than what I owe. And it's not a car that doesn't hold value. It's a Renegade. All right? It's like a Hyundai. They don't hold value. And I could still trade this in for more money than I owe on it. I'm not going to, because the replacement is $10,000 more expensive. That's your Bidenomics. Oh, other factors involved. Yeah, the other factors are involved. All right? But he hasn't responded to them. Oh, it's all this way around the world. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't make it right here. We're supposed to be the leader, not the follower. Not to go around, not to go along with everything. It's just incredible how naive people are getting about life and about what they're spending. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because far from it. I still have a lot to learn, but I am researching and I'm trying to learn. You know, how can I keep myself afloat? How am I going to retire? You know, I'm 4 years away from full retirement. I could retire now, but I'm 4 years away from full retirement, only 2 years away from getting Medicare. And I'm thinking, how am I going to survive? I just don't see it. You know, they talk about taxes. I mean, we're taxed both sides, up and down and all around. It's ridiculous. We're taxed on our pay. We're taxed on our property. We're taxed on what we spend. And we tax on what we sell. Time you get done, they pretty much have everything. Taxes are ridiculous. They're gotten out of control. And the problem is the people that are voting these politicians in, most of them are Democrats, but there's some bad Republicans too. And the independents are just a Democrat. You know what you are. Most of them that are voting for these people either A, don't pay taxes, don't work, or not paying attention. And I know a few that are not paying attention. Related to me. So, folks, I hope November you think about that. And I ain't just talking about the presidential election. I'm talking about the Senate and all this other stuff. We have some very low IQ or common sense people in our government. We had a senator or congressman tell us that the moon is mostly made of gas and we can live inside of it. You elected this person. We have another one, that's even better, was afraid Guam was going to tip over because it's so long and skinny. And he was worried about our naval base with those heavy ships would cause Guam to tip over and fall into the sea. And you elected him again. You were electing some really, I just can't say it. All right? Yeah, people can't even define a woman. Give me a break. Some of the people in there that I see just how willfully unknowledgeable they are. And you can fill in other words for it. I just can't say them. And yet they get elected again because people say, oh, I'm a Democrat. I vote Democrat. Oh, I'm a Republican. I vote Republican. Instead of going, you know, this person's representing my state, my nation, my county, my district. Maybe I should know about their qualifications. Are they smart enough to do this? Are they smarter than a fifth grader? I'll tell you, most of them are not. And then you got to look at what they say they're going to do and what they actually do when they get into office. I've seen a few look like real hopefuls, and this was on the Republican Party, and now we're part of what we call the swamp. And that's always my thought. An honest politician will not survive long in Washington, D.C. It's that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And they're already showing you, if you haven't figured this out, and if you haven't figured it out, you're blind. Excuse me. The reason they are going after Trump with all these indictments and all these BS charges, and they are BS charges, is because he didn't play the game. They're not afraid he's going to become a dictator. They're not afraid he's going to throw people in jail for no reason, because that ain't going to happen. They are afraid because he didn't play the game, and he exposed the politicians for what they are. Showed the world what they were. And that is the only reason they're coming after him. Because these same people there's a balloon up in the air. It's a little balloon. It's just funny where it's at. The only reason they're going after him is because he exposed them. And they'll continue to expose them. We're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine, and yet our border's left wide open. We're giving billions of dollars to Ukraine, but they keep saying Social Security, it needs to be cut. Why didn't we give those billions of dollars back into Social Security that the government stole? And yeah, Republicans stole a lot of it. Like I said, they're not necessarily their friend either. Why are we giving money to a country? It has no effect on us. Oh, we need to defeat Russia. Yeah. Do we? Do we really? They sold that into the 50s and the 60s. Remember, that was called the Cold War. And now, you've got college students, because you don't know any better. You're listening to those liberal professors that never did anything but school. Never did anything but school. I can tell you communism is a great thing. You know, when they tore down the Berlin Wall, did anybody from Germany run back into Russia? No, they didn't. Did people from Russia run into Germany? Yes, they did. I wonder why. Oh, but they weren't doing it right. No, they were doing it exactly right. That's the only way that happens. So, they want people to register their farms. Alright? If you have chickens, they want you to register because we want to track the bird flu. You keep telling yourself that. I want you to register what you're planting. Why would they want that? What purpose is that? I mean, you really have to look at it. Why would they worry about if I've got a half-acre garden or not? What possibly could that be of a concern? They can't. They want us to register our pea shooters. Why? The only reason they'd want to, because they plan on taking them. The only reason. You have to really start looking at what our government has become. And before you blindly vote, take a look at what's going on in the grocery store. Then go to the grocery store and see what they're selling. What is their highlights? What is on their end caps? That stuff on the end caps, is that really nutritious? Or is it junk food? You know, you don't see often eggs on the end cap. Or milk. That's nutrition. Where's the meat counter? Usually in the back of the store. Why would the meat counter be in the back of the store? Because they want you to go past all that junk food first. You know, you have meat markets on their own can hardly survive. So, you know, they're the candy aisle. 2 full aisles to sell you garbage. Yes, I like M&M's just like everybody else. And every now and then, I have some. Maybe once a month, if that. But it shouldn't be an everyday thing. It's not good for you. What is good for you? Meat, eggs, milk, vegetables. Now the vegetables they have up there towards the front. That's kind of nice. You know, but those are the things you should be buying. And what do they cost? They cost the most. When you look at per calorie, your healthy foods are the most expensive per calorie. And when it comes down to it, it's calories. And the stuff that's cheap per calorie are not clean calories. And they make you fat. They make you lazy. Make you feel bad about yourself. And eventually you're sitting in front of the TV believing everything that the news is telling you, instead of doing your own research. And that's the next thing, research. Why aren't you researching things? Why are you believing what you see on social media? Because when you research it and you dig it into it, you realize you got caught with a clickbait. There's one going on right now I'm not even going to talk about. But you research it, it doesn't take long. The initial story is bullshit. But, you know, we don't want to be responsible for what's going on. And we definitely need to start getting responsible. All right. If you vote straight ticket party, you're doing yourself a disfavor. If you're not researching what the news is telling you, and I don't care who it is, I don't care if it's CNN, MSNBC, or Fox. Even Newsmax now I start researching. You need to research it. Because they're just trying to make you scared and stay on there to watch the commercial. You know, farm subsidies. You know, somebody was comparing farm subsidies to socialism. You know, or they're comparing it to student loan forgiveness. Well, if they're not going to forgive our student loans, they shouldn't have farm subsidies. Do you like to eat? That's my question. Do you like to eat food? If the answer is yes, that's why they have the farm subsidies. Why do they do that? Because they made it impossible for the farmer to survive without them. Back in the 70s, the banks pulled a real good one. They sit there and talk to all these farmers upgrading their equipment. Got them in these high interest loans. Had them buy these big tractors. All this new technology back then. Then the rates went up. You understand rates on loans were like 18%. Can't pay that off. And then they paid about half for the grain. A lot of farmers went under, had to sell. So what happened? You start getting these mega farms. And you start getting a lot of neighborhoods. Because the farmers learned, wow, you know, I can sell this acreage and make enough money to retire. And I don't have to bust myself trying to feed a population. It really is not on my side. So I've watched all this farmland in Naperville, in Aurora, in Shorewood, in Shanahan, Nooka, Okina, New Lenox, Manhattan. All neighborhoods now. Beautiful neighborhoods. Nice houses. Clean streets. It's suburban heaven. And with them come the retail. Every retail store you can imagine now is in those areas. I grew up in that area. We used to have one grocery store and one gas station. And an ice cream parlor. And 2 restaurants. That's New Lenox used to have. D&Ads, and we had Ortman's. We had 2 grocery stores eventually. Now, Walmart's, Target's, Jewel, Osco, all this stuff. Probably about 30 different restaurants in there now. I don't even like to go there anymore. It's not the fun place I used to remember. That's why I moved out here in the boonies. But I understand why the farmers sold. Because they were dying. They were starving. And we're going to have a lot of people starving again. Food is getting extremely expensive. If you think about it, food and fuel should be most of your budget. And then you should have some extra to spend. So when your largest portion of your budget doubles, that's Bidenomics for you, because that's what's happening. Your food and fuel and interest has doubled. Not 27%, not 23%, because they're going from last year. I'm talking about from 2020. It has doubled. So whatever you were spending on that back in 2020, you are now spending twice as much. And fortunate for me, just because of the pandemic coming by, I had purchased a lot of canned food when the prices were extremely inexpensive. And I'm still eating some of that canned food. So that has helped my budget. But then that'll go away. Where I'm not eating the stuff, not eating the cans of tuna I paid 50 cents a can for. Those same 50-cent cans are $1.50 now. That's not 27%. Okay. That's 200%. Yeah, so I can do a little math for you. So folks, when it comes election time, right now, everybody, I'm sure you're seeing the gas prices going up. I haven't figured out why that is yet. Probably need to do some research and see what they got to say. Eggs were already on the way up before the bird flu, and they've already, wiped out a couple million birds out already. I think last time your large eggs, don't tell me this will shut off. Your large eggs were $3.59 a dozen. All right, 3 months ago I was getting them for $1.99. And I imagine $4 to $5 to $6 a dozen is coming soon. Luckily, I have people that have chickens that are probably not going to register them to the government because they ain't none of their damn business. So, just trying to say, folks, take a good look around you. Actually see what's going on. Understand what you see on social media. 80% of it, if not more, is an outright lie or very, very great misinformation. Why are you listening to a teenager telling you about the world? Seriously? Don't you guys remember what we were like when we were teenagers? Thought we knew everything, didn't know a damn thing. So why are you listening to a Harry or a Greta or a David? They don't know nothing about the world. And they will parrot anything that they're paid to do. And they are paid to do. Trust me. You ain't doing this for free. Got a little German girl flying around the world. How dare you? Right? You got all these people, politicians, trying to sell you on climate change. You had a host on The View. Well, the eclipse is just another example of climate change. My God, that's the next level of I will just believe anything people tell me, even though it goes against known common sense. Earthquakes, climate change. No, they are not. Solar eclipses are not climate change. Oh my God, people. And if you watch these programs and still watch them, hopefully it's just for the entertainment value. I just want to see how dumb people can be. Oh, here they are, The View. It just, you think this was a fiction book. These people actually believe the stupid stuff they're saying. So I'll probably load this up as a premiere on my farms and prepping, because I don't want to put it on my main channel. I'm probably going to get flagged. But folks, these are real things. Climate change. Oh my God. Just when you think they can't get any dumber, they prove you wrong. There was another one, senator or whatever, she said something incredibly stupid. And I don't even remember that one. I can't keep up with them anymore. So folks, do some research. All right. Probably stop scrolling through TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. You're wasting time. You could be doing some research and actually learning things. If somebody says something that maybe emotionally seems true, I'd research it anyway. I've seen some things that emotionally I would agree as being true, but when I researched it, it wasn't. It was just another BS narrative out there. All right, plant your gardens. All right, buy your basic items. Pay attention in the grocery store. Pay attention to your environments. Avoid dangerous areas if you can. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.